Jai Hind friends, welcome to Kalyani IS Academy. We are studying about nutrients. In the previous lecture we have studied balanced diet and we have studied carbohydrates and proteins. In this lecture we will study other necessary nutrients. Now start the lecture and understand what is balanced diet. See, balanced diet is a diet in which all necessary nutrients like proteins, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, minerals, salts, fibers and waters are present in sufficient quantity as per the physiological requirement. In other words, we can say that a diet which comprises adequate amount of necessary nutrients such as proteins, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, minerals, salts, fibers and waters required for healthy growth and development of our body, right, known as balanced diet. A balanced diet includes both sufficient and nutritious food to ensure good health, right. Now we will understand nutrients, right. So in the previous lecture we have understood what are nutrients. In simple way we can say the substances which are necessary for carrying out various types of biological activities. For an example, providing energy, repair of cells, tissues, for maintaining different metabolic activities are known as nutrients, right. So the substances which are necessary for carrying out various types of biological activities in living organism are known as nutrients, and nutrients are taken up by various organisms in the form of food. Necessary nutrients are taken in the form of food by organisms consume in order to function, grow, repair tissue and maintain various biological process, right. We know that there are, on the basis of quantity, there are two types of nutrients. The first is macronutrients. The nutrients which are required in large quantities are known as macronutrients, and the examples of macronutrients are, the first is carbohydrate, then protein, then fats. After that, micronutrients. What are the micronutrients? See, the nutrients which are required in less amount of quantity are known as micronutrient, such as vitamins, right, vitamins and minerals, different minerals, vitamins, acids, etc., etc. In the previous lecture we have studied about carbohydrate. See, carbohydrates are those nutrients. So carbohydrates are those nutrients which provides energy to the body, and approximately 50 to 75% of the energy, of the total energy, right, is fulfilled by the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the combinations of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, right. The ratio of carbohydrate right, CHO, carbohydrate, hydrogen and oxygen is 1:2:1, right, 1:2:1. Also carbohydrate provides energy to the human body. Now we have seen the proteins, right. Proteins are formed, right, proteins are formed by amino acids, and amino acids are most important for different metabolic activity, for the immunity, building muscles as well as cells, right. And there are 24, right, approximately 24 types of amino acids are required by our human body. Out of these, right, approximately 10 to 12 amino acids are synthesized by human body, and on average 10 nutrients are required, right, and taken in the form of food, right. The functions of proteins are as, right, the first is proteins are the building block of the human body, right, because proteins, right, proteins are required for the cell division as well as muscle building, right, cell building, etc., right. Proteins are important for the synthesis of hormones, neutrons, right, hormones and enzymes which regulate human body. Proteins are also the important part of DNA and RNA. Right. Now in this lecture we have to study and vitamins and minerals. So fats, then we will study minerals. So let's study fats. See, important fats are important macronutrients, and fats are considered as the most concentrated source of energy because, right, because complete oxidation of 1 gram of fat release 9.3 kcal of energy, which is the highest. Right, in the previous lecture we have seen that complete oxidation of 1 gram of carbohydrate provides 4.2 kcal energy, whereas complete oxidation of 1 gram of fat releases 9.3 kcal of energy. This is the highest, or we can say that fats provides the maximum energy per gram, right? Therefore these are considered as the most concentrated source of energy, right? Fats belong to a group of elements known as lipids, right? This is second, right? In the previous lecture I have told you that the proteins are made of amino acids. In the same way fats are made of lipids, right? So these are the most important topics. See, the first is fats are considered as the most concentrated source of energy, and fats belongs to a group of elements called lipids, and fats are important macronutrients. There are two types of fats. First is saturated fats, जिसको बैड फैट भी कहा जाता है, एंड सेकेंड इज अनसैचुरेटेड फैट which is considered good for health. So saturated health has negative impact on our health, therefore this is considered as bad fat, whereas unsaturated fat is good for human body, therefore it is considered as a good fat, right? Fats are formed by the combination of glycerol and fatty acids, right? Like carbohydrates, fats are compounds of carbohydrate, hydrogen and oxygen, and I have told you that the ratio of CHO, carbohydrate, hydrogen and oxygen in the carbohydrate is 1:2:1, right? And this is the ratio in the this ratio, right? Or we can say that the combination of these three is also found in the fats, right? So like carbohydrate, fats are also compounds of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, right? Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but it contains less oxygen than carbohydrates, right? And we have seen that the complete oxidation of 1 gram fat release 9.3 kcal of energy, which means that fats are those nutrients which provides excess, or we can say that highest amount of energy per gram. Normally an adult gets 20 to 30% of their energy from the fat. In the previous lecture we have seen that approximately 50 to 75% energy of the total energetic requirement is to be met by the carbohydrates, whereas 20 to 30% energy requirement of the total energy requirement to be met by the fats, right? Fats are generally in the solid state at 20-degree temperature, right? So fats are at solid state at 20-degree temperature, and if they are in a liquid state at this temperature, they are called oils, right? So in this way you can understand what is the difference between oil and fats, right? So fats are generally at solid state at 20 degrees centigrade, but if these fats are in liquid state at normal stage, or we can say that at 20 degrees centigrade, then these fats are known as oil, right? Now types of fats, right? Fats can be divided into two major classes on the basis of source. So on the basis of source there are two types of fats. The first is animal fats, right? So those fats which are found in milk, cheese and fish, right? उनको ही क्या कहा जाता है? एनिमल फैट कहा जाता है. So simply, if the source of fat is animal, then this is known as animal fat, and this animal fat is found in milk, cheese, egg, fish and meat. Next is vegetable fat. If the source of fat is a vegetable or plant, so if the source of fats are the vegetables or plants, then this is known as vegetable fats, right? And vegetable fats are available in vegetable oils, right? And vegetable oils are obtained from walnut, right? Almond, groundnut, coconut, mustard, sesame, right? And sunflower, right? So sunflower, coconut, walnut, almond, groundnut are the examples, or we can say that source of vegetable fats. Now another two types. The first is saturated fats. See what is saturated fat? Fats that are solid at room temperature, उनको ही क्या कहा जाता है? Saturated fat कहा जाता है. तो fats that are solid at room temperature are known as saturated fats, and fats that are liquid at normal temperature are known as unsaturated fat, right? Also I would like to tell you that the fatty acids are both useful as well as harmful for human body. For an example, excessive amount of fats, right, leads to increase in cholesterol, and cholesterol is very dangerous for harmful heart diseases, right? So cholesterol. So cholesterol is a fat which is harmful for human body, and cholesterol leads to the many heart related diseases, right? Okay. Next is function of fat. The first which is the most important. See, fats plays an important role to keep the body temperature stable, right? Because fat accumulates under the skin and prevents the release of body heat, thus playing an important role in controlling the body's temperature, right? So there is a accumulation of fat, right, under the skin, right? So fat accumulates under the skin and prevents the release of body heat, thus playing an important role in controlling the body's temperature. And this is most important for the polar organisms as well, because in polar region there is a extreme climatic conditions, or we can say that there is a minimum temperature at polar regions. Over there, the accumulation of fat occurs under the skin of these polar organisms, and this prevents the release of body heat. Therefore, this accumulation of fat plays an important role in the survival of these polar organisms, right? For an example, polar bear. Next, fats add flavor to the food and make the food interesting, right? For an example, right, if you are taking chapati without butter, then definitely you wouldn't have a good taste, right? But if you consume the chapati with the butter, then definitely this will add flavor and this makes the food interesting, right? So fats add the flavor to the food and make the food interesting. Third, food protects various parts of the body from injuries. And fourth, fats provide energy to the body. What are the sources of fat? So sources of fat are milk, meat, fish, groundnut oil, ghee, or we can say that butter, etc., etc. What are the deficiency diseases of fats? See, due to lack of fat in human body, the skin becomes dry, and this question have been asked in various examination, right? So because of, right, or we can say that due to lack of fat in the human body, the skin becomes dry, right? This is the first deficiency effect of fats. Second, loss of fats leads to the weight loss and stunted growth of the body. So we can say that the lack of fat leads to weight loss as well as stunted growth. Third, excess of fat makes the body fat, right, which leads to heart related disease, high blood pressure, etc. Right, or in simple words we can say that in simple words we can say that if when the cholesterol increases, if you consume oily products, for an example samosa, kachori, right, samosa, kachori, then this will lead to increase in cholesterol, and if cholesterol increases, then increase in the cholesterol leads to the heart related disease and high blood pressure. Also, the amount of saturated fat like butter and ghee in human diet should be less, because saturated fat is easily converted into cholesterol, and I have told you that the saturated fat like ghee, ghee and butter should be less in amount, because this saturated fat is easily get converted into cholesterol, and if the accumulation of cholesterol increases, then this leads to the blockage in the arteries and high blood pressure and heart related diseases, right. So these are the deficiency diseases of fats, right. Now we will study the mineral elements. See, mineral elements are the micronutrients, right. What are the micronutrients? See, those nutrients which are required in low quantity, right, those nutrients which are required in the low amount of quantity are known as micronutrients, and minerals are micronutrients. And minerals in the food are elements present in the food that are required by our body to develop and function properly. So simply we can say that minerals are those nutrients which are required in low amount of quantity, but these are required our body to develop and function properly. Minerals are inorganic substances required by the human body to function correctly. The human body requires varying amount of minerals daily in order to build strong bones as well as muscles. Minerals also helps to maintain various bodily functions. Therefore, we obtain these nutrients from eating food rich in minerals, right? And we will study various type of minerals. But before that, we must study what is the importance of minerals. So the first importance is here. See, some mineral salts like calcium, phosphorus are the main components of bones and teeth. So simply we can say that for a strong bone, right, for a strong bone and teeth, some mineral salts like calcium and phosphate must be taken in the food. Second, some mineral elements are necessary for the heartbeat, muscle contraction and blood clotting, right. So some minerals plays an important role in metabolic activity as well as necessary for heartbeat, muscle contraction, blood clotting, etc. Some mineral salts affect the permeability of the cell membrane, which plays an important role in metabolic activities. Some mineral ions act as linking molecules and metabolic reactions, and some mineral salts maintains pH and blood pressure. Therefore, minerals are important for human body. Now, what are the different functions of mineral? See, due to ions or salts, there is electric conductivity in protoplasm. Due to this, there is sensitivity in the protoplasm. So simply we can say that because of minerals there is a sensitivity in the protoplasm, because minerals have ions, right. So minerals have ions, or we can say that due to ions or salts which are present in minerals, there is electric conductivity in protoplasm. Due to this, there is sensitivity in the protoplasm. Second, ions act as binders in many chemical reactions, and minerals take part in the composition of many tissues, blood, bones and teeth, etc., etc. These take an important part in muscle contraction as well, and muscle contraction is most important for various postures. For an example, I am lifting the weight, then definitely there must be muscle contraction in my thigh as well as in my shoulder, so that I could lift the weight easily, right? And for doing various types of activities such as playing, sitting, dancing, right, muscle contraction is the most important function, right? So these are the functions of minerals, right? Now we will study different minerals for the MPPSC prelims examination, because simple question is asked in the examination, right? What is the importance of sodium mineral, right? And what is the disease, right? What is the disease because of there is a lack of sodium? Regarding this, we have to study different minerals, right? Because nutrients is mentioned in our syllabus, therefore we have to study every nutrient with minute detail and with minute facts. So therefore we have to study nutrients in the depth. In the previous lecture we have studied about carbohydrate as well as proteins, right? And in this lecture now we have studied about fats. Now we will study the different or essential minerals. The first is sodium, right? The first is sodium. See, sodium occurs mainly in the form of cations in the cytoplasm, right? So sodium occurs mainly in the form of cations in the cytoplasm, and it is associated with the following function, and this is the most important part, right? So sodium occurs mainly in the form of cations in the cytoplasm. Second, it is associated with the following function. The first is sodium plays an important role in the contraction, right? Contraction of muscles. So sodium is required for the contraction of muscles, and contraction of muscles is important for different postures. Second, transmission of nerve impulses in the nerve fibers, or we can say that this plays an important role in the nervous system, or transmission of nerve impulses. Third, sodium helps in controlling blood pressure as well. Now, what is the source? The main sources of sodium are common salt, or we can say that general salt. So general salt is the most important source of the sodium. Along with this fish, eggs, meat and milk, etc. Deficiency of sodium causes hyponatremia, right? So causes of if there is a lack of sodium in our food, then this causes hyponatremia, which is characterized by persistent headache, vomiting, fatigue, muscle weakness as well convulsions, right? So hyponatremia is because of lack of sodium. Clear? The next is potassium. Potassium is found in the cytoplasm as a cation in the same way sodium, right? So sodium and potassium both found in cytoplasm as a cation, right? And potassium is presented in almost all food items, right? So it is presented almost all food items, and it is necessary. Why? Because many reactions taking place in the cell because of potassium. So because for many reactions which take place in the cell, potassium is required. Second, muscular contraction, right, and control of blood pressure. And third, transmission of nerve impulses, right? So both sodium and potassium are found as a cation in the cytoplasm. Therefore both sodium and potassium plays an important role in the transmission of nerve impulses, right, and muscle contraction, right? And for the potassium is also required for many actions that take place in the cell. The deficiency of potassium causes weakness and paralysis, right? This fact seems to be wrong, so therefore leave it. So deficiency of potassium causes weakness and paralysis, right? Severe deficiency of potassium also causes symptoms such as difficulty in breathing and complaints of low blood pressure, right? Fourth is calcium. See, calcium strengthens bones and teeth along with vitamin D. Therefore, calcium is required for the proper development of the bones as well as teeth in the human body, right? So, calcium strengthens bones as well as teeth along with the vitamin D. Calcium plays an important role in the coagulation of blood. Also, it is associated with the process of muscle contraction, and muscle contraction is responsible for various posture and various activities. The sources of calcium are cheese, milk, eggs, green vegetable and greens, right, and fish. Lack of calcium leads to weakening of bones, right? So therefore calcium must be taken, and which leads to the disease called osteoporosis, right? So lack of calcium leads to weakening of the bones, which leads to a disease called osteoporosis. Therefore, for the strong bone and teeth, the calcium must be taken in the food, and a lack of calcium prevents the bone development. Therefore, children must be provided calcium as well as ions, because when children grows, right, for the strong bones calcium is required, right? Next is phosphorus. See, phosphorus are the essential element of the human body. So phosphorus is essential. Phosphorus is essential element for the human body, and phosphorus, right, phosphorus binds with the calcium and gives strength to the teeth and bones, right? तो जो हमारी जो bones है, right, हमारी bones में not only calcium is available but also phosphorus is available, right, and this gives strength to the teeth as well as bones. And understand, the phosphorus is flammable. Phosphorus is flammable substances, therefore our body catches fire. Otherwise there is a blood which is in liquid state, so because of the blood presence of muscles and blood, our body should not catch the fire, but our bones are the combinations, our bones are the made up of calcium as well as phosphorus, and phosphorus is the flammable, right, most flammable element, therefore our human body catches fire. So phosphorus binds with calcium and gives strength to teeth as well as bones, right? Phosphorus maintains balance of fluid inside the body. It also aids in the digestion of carbohydrate and fats. Due to the deficiency of phosphorus, bones become weak, and along with this there is a arthritis, right? Arthritis, which is the pain in the joints. So because of there is a lack of phosphorus, there is a disease arthritis, right? Phosphorus deficiency also leads to the common infections. Clear? Now next is magnesium, right? Magnesium is important for the formation of teeth and bones, right, and physiology of the nervous system. So magnesium is important for the physiology of nervous system as well as for the formation of teeth and bones, right? The deficiency of magnesium affects the physiology of various systems such as the nervous system, and due to the irregularity of and metabolic reactions, right? Magnesium is found in milk, right, whole grains, fish, meat and green vegetables, right? Next is chlorine, right? Chlorine is important for acidic base balance and water balance, right? As you know that the acidic base balance is most required for the digestion of, right, the digestion of the food, right? So chlorine is important for acid base balance and water balance in the human body, and this plays an important role in the digestion. The deficiency of chlorine causes loss of appetite, muscle cramps, right, tiredness, etc. Chlorine is found in food grains. Now iron, which is the most important, right, and very iron have been asked in various examination, right? So Iron is essential for the synthesis of hemoglobin in RBCs, which is the carrier of oxygen in the human body. Therefore, iron plays an important role in the proper functioning of the body, because hemoglobin in the respiratory system, I had made you understand that in the lungs oxygen along with hemoglobin, right, oxygen along with hemoglobin forms a temporary component temporary component oxyhemoglobin, right. So in lungs, oxygen along with hemoglobin forms a compound oxyhemoglobin, and in the form of oxyhemoglobin, right, the blood is carried out to different cells of the body, and in this way oxygen is carried to the different cells of the body, right. Therefore, iron is important. So iron is essential for synthesis of hemoglobin in RBCs, and hemoglobin is the carrier of oxygen in the body. The deficiency of iron results in the decrease in the ability of blood to carry oxygen, which is known as anemia, and this is the dangerous problem in India, right. Because if there is a lack of hemoglobin, right, if there is a lack of hemoglobin, and this is because of lack of iron. So if there is lack of iron, there would be a lack of hemoglobin, and if there is a lack of hemoglobin, this will decrease in the ability of blood to carry out oxygen, right, and because of this the disease is anemia. And because of the menstrual cycle or periods, there is a blood loss, and in India iron is not included in the food. Therefore, 50% population, or we can say that 50% women of India are anemic, right. And if there is a lack of a deficiency in iron, right, there is a disease anemia, right, which is found in girls and women, and उसकी वजह से ही जो है वीमेन है और या जो गर्ल्स है उनमें वीकनेस और जो है टायर्डनेस होती है, और हमारे इंडिया में मोर देन 50% women and girls are anemic, and this leads to the weakness in girls and women, as well as women and girls feel tired. In the acute stage of anemia, symptoms such as darkening before the eyes, right, dizziness, loss of appetite, etc. are found. Iron is found in spinach, right, corunda, right, then fenugreek, cereals, nuts, etc., etc. And we can say that jaggery is also source of the iron. An adult needs 20 to 25 gram of iron, and iron is required during the pregnancy. Therefore, the pregnant women are provided tablets of folic acid as well as calcium, right. And wherever there is a high cases of anemia over there, the tablets of folic acid are provided through Anganwadis, right, so that this problem could be removed from India, right. Next is iodine, right. Iodine is the essential for thyroxine secretion by the thyroid gland, right, and we know that thyroxine hormone contains more than 60 to 65% of iodine, right. So thyroxine hormone contains more than 60% of iodine, right, and this iodine is important for the secretion of thyroxine hormone, right, by the thyroid gland, and this thyroxine hormone is important in metabolic activities, right, and for the development and growth of the human body. So simply we can say that thyroxine hormone plays an important role in the development and metabolic activities of human body, and thyroxine secretion is essential and is stimulated by the thyroxine secretion is done by thyroid gland, and for which iodine is required. The deficiency of iodine leads to the condition of goiter, right, due to which the mental changes start taking place in the affected person, and also in the goiter disease the size of thyroid gland increases, right, or when the size of thyroid gland increases, this is the one effect. Second thing is that कि mental changes होते हैं, and third thing is that this also affects the nervous system. Therefore everybody should take amount of आयोडीन, और इसलिए इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने जो साल्ट्स हैं, राइट, जो साल्ट प्रोडक्शन कंपनीज हैं, राइट, उनको ये नेसेसरी कर दिया क्या, इट इज नेसेसरी टू मिक्स द आयोडीन विद द साल्ट, ओनली देन अ कंपनी कैन सेल द सॉल्ट इन इंडियन मार्केट, राइट. आयोडीन is mainly found in algae like laminaria, sea fish, seafood, green leafy vegetables and iodized salt. Right? Now we will study water. See, water is also important component of human diet, right? Because human body, right, जो human body है वो aqueous, right, aqueous system पर क्या करती है, वर्क करती है, right. For an example, अगर हम देखें तो जो blood है, right, blood carries out the oxygen as well as the digested food or glucose throughout the different cells of the body. और जो एक्वेटिक सिस्टम है या एक्वस जो सिस्टम है, इसके लिए वाटर क्या होता है, रिक्वायर्ड होता है. Therefore everybody should take enough amount of water. Now we will see other facts related to water. The first thing is that water is an important part of the human diet. Water regulates the temperature of the human body, right? Water regulates the temperature of human body through sweating as well as evaporation, right? So whenever the temperature of body increases, right, body starts sweating, and this leads to the maintain of temperature. So water is an important part of the human diet. Water regulates the temperature of human body, right? Water is an important means of removing waste product from the body, right? Because we know that in our body many metabolic activities occurs, and then in different metabolic activities metallic waste is produced as well as toxins are produced, which later filtered by the kidney, and kidney, which is the most important excretory organ of the human body, this kidney excretes the metallic waste as well as toxins in the form of urine. Therefore water plays an important role in the to remove waste products from the body. About 65 to 70% of the weight of the human body is water, and due to vomiting and diarrhea there is a lack of water in human body. This stage is known as dehydration, and dehydration can lead to the death of a person, right? If there is a severe condition of dehydration, then definitely your life would be in danger. Therefore we must be in a situation and in an environment where you could take enough amount of water, right? Most of the biochemical reactions taking place in the body in aqueous medium, right, और aqueous medium की वजह से हमको water को consume करना चाहिए. Now water क्यों important है? Water is the best solvent. Therefore हमारी body में जो different components होते हैं वो water में जो है water में क्या हो जाते हैं, solve हो जाते हैं, right? So water is the best solvent. Therefore जो many aqueous activities है वो water की वजह से ही component होती हैं. Also it is an important component of the cells of the body. Therefore people should drink an average 4 to 5 liters of water per day. Now fibers. See, fibers are those nutrients which do not provide any energy, right? But these are the most important for the proper digestion. right? Proper digestion. So fibers are those nutrients which neither plays an important role in any metabolic activity, or we can say that which do not important for the muscle building, or important for immune system, as well as important for any other activity. Fibers also do not provide energy, but fibers play an important role in the digestion of the food. So fibers are those food items, right, which do not provide energy but plays an important role in the digestion of the food. Due to their presence, the digestion process gets complete easily, right, and they help in the removing undigested food from the body, right. Therefore we must consume fibers enough amount, right, and when we don't consume fibers, then many metabolic waste और toxins accumulate in our human body, और वो फिर हमारी human body को negatively impact करता है, right. Fibers के source क्या है, right, तो सबसे अच्छा क्या हो जाएगा, salads हो जाएगा. So salad is the best example of fibers, which means that we must eat carrot, onion and cucumber, right, in the form of fibers. Second thing is that the person who is controlling his calorie, which means that if somebody is losing, if somebody wants to lose his weight, then definitely उसको fibers जो हैं वो क्या करते हैं, important role play करते हैं, right. Next is antioxidants. See, antioxidants are compounds that slow down an oxidation reaction, right. So antioxidants are compounds that slow down an oxidation reaction, and various metabolic process go on in human body. During this oxidation, the free radicals are produced which can damage the cell. तो simply क्या होता है कि many metabolic activities go on in human body, and during this free radicals are produced which can damage the cells. Therefore these free radicals or toxins must be removed out from the human body, and to remove the free radicals, antioxidant compounds plays an important role. So antioxidant compounds or substances neutralize these free radicals and protect the cell from their side effects. For an example, green tea, right? Green tea is being used by different persons for detoxification of the body. So green tea, lemon, green vegetable, fruits, it is plays an important role in the detoxification of the human body, because these antioxidants neutralize the free radicals which are produced in the various metabolic process. Therefore antioxidants plays an important role, right. So in this way we have studied the micronutrients as well. Now you would think that we didn't study vitamins, because the topic of vitamins is a long topic and we will study the vitamins in separate lecture. So in the upcoming lecture we will study about vitamins, right. So now we will meet in next lecture. Till then, thank you.